Students, the last topic which we had covered was acid-base indicators, in which we had seen different types of indicators, some synthetic indicators and some natural indicators. Synthetic indicators like phenolphthalein, methyl orange, and litmus solution. Actually, it is obtained from the lichen plant, so we can say it is a natural indicator as well. So, how does the color change in different acid and base solutions? Then we had also seen an activity in which we saw the change in the color with turmeric, and then there were many natural indicators which were used in that activity. So we did many things to explore how the color changes in acidic medium and basic medium of different colored substances. Today we are going to see olfactory indicators. Olfactory. The term olfactory is associated with the sense of smelling. Like optic is associated with the sense of seeing. Auditory, the sense of hearing. Same way, olfactory indicator is a substance which is associated with the sense of smelling. So, let us see the definition of an olfactory indicator. Olfactory indicator are strong smelling substances which may change their odor either in acidic solution or in basic solutions. It can happen, they can change in both also. So such substances are known as olfactory indicators. Examples are onion extract, then vanilla extract and clove. Clove means long, which you call in Hindi. So these substances, they may lose their odor, their strong smell, either in the presence of acid or base. There is a short activity which is given in your NCERT textbook. You can perform and see yourself. In that activity, you have to take the extract of onion. You can crush onion and you can squeeze it, remove the juice of onion, and then you have to take cloth strips, small cloth strips you can take, dip it into, tie it into a polythene and keep it into the refrigerator for some, like overnight you can keep. Keeping in the refrigerator so that it does not get spoiled outside. That's the reason. And you have to soak the cloth strips so that they get the odor, or odor of the onion is absorbed in the cloth strip. Then you treat it with some acid or base. Now, as HCl and NaOH will not get in these times, as there is lockdown, school is also closed, you can try it with some other base like detergent you can take, or you can take baking soda solution as a base, and then acid you can take vinegar, or even you can take lemon juice. So do this activity at home yourself. You will enjoy doing it, and find out where the odor changes, whether it changes with lemon juice, that is with acid, vinegar, or it changes with a base, that is detergent, or with baking soda. You can use either. These are the substances which every house you will get. I am not showing you this activity because it is a matter of the change in the odor. Now I will not be able to show you how the odor will change. So you have to do it on your own. So this is your homework for today. Okay. So which are these strong smelling substances? Onion, vanilla and clove. Now if we see for onion, then this you might have observed in your daily life also, that when you are cutting onions or you deal with onions, you pick up the cut pieces of onion, then the strong smell of onion, it gets absorbed in our fingers. If you are washing the hands with soap, after some time the odor goes away. So why does it happen? Because soap is having a base, or detergents have base. So we can conclude that in the basic medium the odor fades away, or it goes away, the odor of onion. Whereas if you treat it with lemon juice, the odor will remain as it is, it will not disappear, or it will persist. So this is a day-to-day life experience, but as I have told you, you perform it, so you get the results. You can share the results on my personal WhatsApp also, or even you can record that activity and you can send it to me. Okay, so it will be fun, children. So this is all about olfactory indicators. Let us move on to the next topic now, that is classification of acids. Now out of acids, bases and salts, we are going to move on with the first part, that is acids. This part was only how we can identify between acids and bases. So acids is a major portion of the chapter and salts is a major portion of the chapter. Bases, yes, there is a small part which is included along with acids, but we'll treat acids and base section separately and then we'll move on to the next part, that is salt. So we are starting with the acid portion today. Earlier we had seen some basic characteristics of acids and bases. How do we identify which is an acid, which is a base? Now specifically some more properties of acids we will see. So first of all, let us see the classification of acids. So there are three bases of classification of acids. First basis of classification is depending on source. Then the second mode of classification is depends on the strength, and next is which depends on concentration. So the first one, depending on source, we can classify acid into two categories. One is, we will call it as organic acid and inorganic, or we may also call it as mineral acid. Let us see the first area of classification or first type of classification, organic acid, inorganic acid. So the word organic itself means that from natural source. Natural source means either it can be from plants or from animals. So all those acids which are obtained from either plant or animal source are known as organic acids. For example, citric acid. Citric acid is obtained from lemon. Acetic acid from vinegar. Then many are there in this way. Tartaric acid, oxalic acid is there from tomatoes, tartaric acid is there for tamarind, then malic acid is there in apples. So these are all the organic acids from plant sources. Animal sources, lactic acid is obtained from milk, so milk is obtained from animals, and formic acid, it is present in the sting of the ants. So these are all the examples of organic acid. Inorganic acid or mineral acid, which is obtained from the minerals, means from the crust of the earth, whatever elements are obtained by extraction process, and then we get the acid from that. For example, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, then nitric acid, even carbonic acid, H2CO3. This is carbonic acid. Children, when CO2 gas is passed through water, it gives carbonic acid. You should remember this name. So it is also an inorganic or mineral acid. So there are two types of acids, organic acid, inorganic acid, depending on the source from which they are obtained. The second mode of classification is depending on the strength. So depending on the strength, again there are two types of acids, strong acid and weak acids. Now strong acids are those which will completely dissociate into H plus ion. So those acids which completely dissociate into H plus ions are known as strong acids, and weak acid does not dissociate completely. So what do you mean by complete dissociation? For example, let us take the example of HCl. So HCl in water, it forms H plus and Cl minus ions. Now when HCl is originally a gas. So when this HCl gas, hydrogen chloride gas, is passed into water, it becomes hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is 100% dissociated into H plus ion and Cl minus ion. 100% dissociation means if suppose there are 100 molecules, it can't be 100 molecules, 100 is quite a small number, but only to make you understand with some number. So if there are 100 molecules of HCl, when they move into water or they go into water, it will give 100 H plus ions and 100 Cl minus ions. Means whatever number of molecules are there, they will split or they will separate into ions completely. So such acids are known as strong acids. So which are the examples of strong acid? HCl is a strong acid, H2SO4 is a strong acid, HNO3 is a strong acid. Most of the mineral acids are strong acids. But still there are certain mineral acids like carbonic acid is there. Carbonic acid is a weak acid. All these are strong acids. And then all the organic acids, they are also weak acids. All the organic acids which are obtained from plant or animal source, they are all weak acids, and that is why we can consume those acids. Strong acids, they are very corrosive. Weak acids are less corrosive, or we can say very mild. So we consume citric acid, we consume acetic acid, tartric acid, all these acids we can consume. So they are all weak acids. So they will not completely dissociated. Means, for example, if we take the example of acetic acid gives acetate ion and H plus ion. So if there are 100 molecules, suppose, out of those 100 molecules only 25 molecules may dissociate into H plus and acetate ions. So such acids are weak acids. So depending on the strength, there are two types of acids, strong acids and weak acids. Then the third type of classification is depending on the concentration. So depending on the concentration, that can be concentrated acid or dilute acid. Concentrated acid means when the acid solution is prepared by using minimum quantity of water. We'll call it as a concentrated acid. Whereas dilute acid is an acid solution which is prepared from the concentrated acid solution by mixing it with water. So dilute can be any, means it is comparative. Concentrated means it will be having minimum quantity of water and you can dilute it to any extent. So dilute will be mixing of concentrated acid and water. And any of these acids, they can be concentrated solution, it can be a dilute solution. Whether it is weak or strong, it can be a dilute solution, it can be a concentrated solution. Whether it is organic acid or inorganic acid, it can be a dilute solution, it can be a concentrated solution. So this is what is a concentrated acid and a dilute acid. We don't have any excuse me, specific example of concentrated acid or specific example of dilute acid. It can be any. It is just a comparative term. Acetic acid can also be concentrated and dilute. HCl can also be concentrated and dilute acid. So I hope so you have understood the classification of acids depending on the source, organic, inorganic, depending on the strength, strong acid, weak acid, depending on the concentration, concentrated acid and dilute acid. In the next video, we are going to see the characteristics of acid. How do they behave in different conditions? What is the reason for the acidic nature of the acids? And what happens in water when acid solution is mixed? Then they also conduct electricity. So what is the reason behind that? So all these characteristics we are going to see in the next video.